Good morning. Thank you for logging in a minute or two early. I always like to be able to say hello. We will be starting, I'm in Southern California, so we'll be starting in 2 minutes, 10 o'clock my time. Let me know in chat where you're logging in from. I always like to see where we're getting attendees from. Good morning, Amy from Santa Barbara. Welcome. And I do see a hand raised. If you have questions, please post in chat, and I will be looking over at chat throughout the presentation, as I really do want to be able to answer your questions in real time. Nazar from Chicago, welcome. Oh, Massachusetts. Oh, I love that we're getting people from all over the country. It's amazing. Los Angeles. Oh, then we're neighbors. San Francisco, almost neighbors, pretty close. And Riverside, I would call that pretty darn close to neighbors. In LA, we tend to drive a lot. I used to do a lot of SCORE presentations in person out in Riverside. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking today about LinkedIn and how I think that it is being underutilized for business owners like you and me to really I think it's a great social platform. So that's what we're going to dive into today. But before we do, I just have to give such a shout out to SCORE. Their mentoring program is amazing. I had a SCORE mentor when I started my business, and I had so many questions that I didn't even know to ask. And having a free, did I mention that a free SCORE mentor to just be there to touch base with on a regular basis and kind of help guide me to the questions that I really did need to ask. And once you ask the questions, you can figure it out together. They empower you to run your business better. So if you have not signed up for a free SCORE mentor, I highly encourage you to do that. You can always reach out to SCORE on their website, and they are here to help all of us. They have helped me. And so I love the opportunity to try to give back and maybe help you a little bit and get you excited today about really diving into LinkedIn. And we start with making your profile, I like to say from profile to pro-fabulous. So in this day of AI, this is really me. I am here with you today. So if you have questions, absolutely be posting in chat. I want to keep it as interactive as I can. These days, my business, we're called digital creators because everything online, anything visual online, that's what we do. So if you have questions, like I said, I'm here for you today. Think of me as your personal consultant for today. I am especially going to dive into how I utilize LinkedIn for business. That's what my topic is today. But there's so many tools out there that you can utilize to help your business. And like I said, happy to reach out and connect with you on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I'm Ronnie Ramos. You could always shoot me a quick little question. I'm happy to see if maybe I can have a quick little answer for you. On LinkedIn, as I said, I'm Ronnie Ramos. On most other social, I'm on my business name, which is Harmony 3 Productions. If you want my best tips on a semi-regular basis, sign up for my newsletters. That's a place that I tend to share things that I'm testing out, trying, seeing if I like all this new technology. There's something new every day. So it's a place that we can connect. I also offer random bits of encouragement. So it's a place that I can share the things that I'm working on that maybe aren't ready for a full-on webinar quite yet. But today, it's LinkedIn. And yes, I think that LinkedIn can be a gold mine for businesses. 4 out of 5 LinkedIn users drive the business decisions, and that means for purchasing too. It's business to business focused, which I think is great. Business to commercial or direct to consumer, The other platforms I think work better. But if you are trying to position your business as a thought leader or reach out to other businesses, I think LinkedIn is a great opportunity. And you can use tools in LinkedIn, much like the other social media platforms, where you can run ads. But their targeting is amazing, really can fine tune who you are trying to reach out to. The good news is the organic reach still works really, really well on LinkedIn. But there's a couple of tips that I'm going to share with you today to really help boost that organic reach that a lot of us are checking into. I see that there's Brenda's saying a lot of echo. Is anybody else having echo problems? Sounds good on my end, so crossing my fingers for you. Okay, so where do you start? I'm going to go through all the different places where you're going to make your profile, your LinkedIn profile, as fabulous as we can. And you start with your headline. So your headline should be keyword rich. And you're going to hear that term a lot today, keywords and key phrases. I want you to think about going beyond just your job title. So include any specialties that you have that add value. For example, digital marketing strategist driving 3 times return on investment for tech startups, whatever it is. I'm just making stuff up here. But your headline should reflect you. Does it reflect who you want to reach? And does it tell me, the viewer, how you can help me? Because that's what people want. So your headline, place to start, super important. And guess what? AI can help with that. I use AI all the time. Large language models, people use many different ones. I use ChatGPT, I use the paid version. But any of these AI models can help you with that. And I never recommend you take everything AI says word for word, but it's a great place to get you started and inspire you and maybe show you a direction you hadn't thought of. So how can AI help with your headline? Well, it can analyze your role, your industry, and your target audience to suggest, again, keyword-rich headlines and summaries that can improve that search visibility, because we want the great headline, but we want the algorithms to find that so that they're sharing it with appropriate people. So instead of business consultant helping companies grow, that would be a normal kind of a headline. AI could help refine that to something like business consultant helping small and medium-sized businesses improve cash flow, team performance, and exit value. That has a lot of keywords built into it. Better for search, lets people know immediately what you do. It's more specific, it's more searchable, and more relevant for your profile views. Now, back to your profile, you're going to have a picture of you, right? So your headshot is sometimes the very first time people will see you or be introduced to you. So you've got your headshot and you've got your banner image. For your headshot, I always recommend high quality, approachable looking profile photo. And select a banner image that reflects your industry or your brand.
Here's the truth. Silence doesn't inspire anyone, but your wins do. Sharing your wins isn't bragging. It's proof of the impact you're making. When you post about an accomplishment, you're not just patting yourself on the back. You're giving others insight, encouragement, and maybe even permission to celebrate their own progress. So here's your challenge. Think of a recent win, big or small, and share it today. Let people see the good work you're doing. And if you want more ideas to share your story with confidence, follow along with me at Harmony 3 Productions.
Now, that's my profile picture talking. My profile picture was generated in a platform called Aragon, ARAGON.ai. So you can see on the right, all of those are still photos taken from some not professional, just selfies of me. And I picked one that I liked, and then I animated it using an AI avatar And I use that a lot of times for my posts on LinkedIn. So that professional picture of you, whether it's AI generated from selfies or you have, a professional portrait, you can use it for so many things, one of which would be posts, helpful posts, tips, whatever you want to share on LinkedIn. But if you don't have a great photo of you, you can generate photos like you see here on the right from 6 mediocre selfies. Good to know. Now, your about section. So you've got your headline, you've got your photo, you'll have your banner image. But a compelling about section, I want you to think about leading with your unique value proposition and then weave in like 3 to 5 industry keywords. Remember, I said you're going to hear this term a lot for SEO, and keep it client focused. I help with XYZ, so you can do XYZ. AI can also help with your about section. It can help you find those keywords for SEO on discovery, in discovery on LinkedIn. So how can it help? It can identify which keywords your clients, and your clients are going to be different than mine, different than everybody else in here, but what are they actually searching for? And it can help you naturally weave those keywords into your profile. For example, a marketing consultant might learn that lead generation strategy, B2B content marketing, or fractional CMO are high value search terms. Maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. Maybe you have a list of keywords that you think are great. Maybe you can add some of these in, and then you can update your profile accordingly. That boosts discoverability without sounding robotic, because I want you to use these keywords as if you're naturally speaking. You're not going to just stack them in the bottom of your about section. I see a great question here. How do I describe my clients to AI to get the right keywords? Amy, post in chat what type of industry you're in, just be general, and I will show you exactly in ChatGPT how to do that. Perfect. All right, see another question here. Which animation tool did I use to create your avatar while using your own voice? Another great question. There's so many great tips that we can use now. I used 11 Labs to clone my voice. Or you can take a voice memo of you talking from your phone, and then I upload it into HeyGen, HeyGen, and make that avatar talk like that. It's wild these days. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how we can get keywords for a specific industry. So Amy says, balloon decor for corporate events. So I am presenting this in Canva, so it makes it nice. I can go right out of Canva and go right into ChatGPT. So I would say for a company that does balloon decor for corporate events, give me 5 keywords or key phrases that would help with SEO on LinkedIn. So let's see what it comes up with. It's giving me 2 examples, so it's really giving me 10 choices, right? Corporate event balloon decor, branded balloon installations, which I think is a great one. Event styling for corporate functions, another great one. Balloon decor for conferences and trade shows, custom balloon backdrops and installations. Pro tip, very LinkedIn specific. Use 2 or 3 of these consistently in your about section, which is exactly what I was saying, your experience section, and your skills. Absolutely, you're repeating these keywords throughout your profile, so it's making it easier for the AI to understand what you do, and because you're repeating them, it understands that you are more of an expert with those. Now, I like this. Rewrite rewrite a LinkedIn headline using these. So I'm just going to go, yes, please, headline. So let's see what it comes up with. Clean and professional, corporate event balloon decor, branded installations for conferences, launches, and company events, elevated event experiences. Gives you 5 different ones. What about the last one? Lead generating angle, helping companies stand out at events. Remember, I said, what do you do that people are looking for help with? Custom balloon decor, corporate installations, and brand. You can do this for whatever your business is. So you can make these requests for keywords, key phrases for whatever your business is. So whatever your business is, you can ask ChatGPT, please give me some keywords and key phrases for whatever type of business you have. The other thing that you can do is you can actually give the URL of your LinkedIn page to ChatGPT. It can scan it and give you suggestions on how to improve that. All right, let's see where we were here. Okay. Now, it can also give you more help. As I said, AI can review your LinkedIn profile. It's going to flag areas that are unclear, inconsistent, or a little too vague. Just so you know, I love to lead by example. So I had AI look at my profile yesterday, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm all that, right? My profile's good. And it absolutely gave me some suggestions that I incorporated into my profile. And one of the reasons that it was able to refine what I'm doing is that things change so fast. And I had redone my profile in the last year, but things do change. And it is nice to get another set of eyes on what you're doing. So, for example, prompts to AI. You could ask your AI, whatever one you're using, does my profile clearly say what I help and how? And I would add into that now, because like I said, if things change, if you're, expanding what you do, or AI can help you with that. What about typing in what type of client would be most attracted to this profile? Or you could tell it what type of client you want. How can I refine my profile to reach that type of client? You're going to give it information so it can give you a better response. How about this? Rewrite my profile to sound more client focused. The result is a profile that speaks to the reader. It's not just your resume. All right, let me get chat back open here so I can see your questions. All right, so someone is saying, what's the big difference between the free version of ChatGPT in comparison to the paid version? So for me, I have used both. I get a much better, more thorough response with the paid version, and I get it faster. So those are the two things that I notice. But if you're new to it, I would absolutely try the free version. And I recommend this for whatever platforms you're thinking about using. If they have a free or a trial, try that first, see if it's working for you. But for me, I did see definitely a better response to my questions. All right. Don't forget your banner. So you've got your image, your headshot in that little circle, and then you have a banner for your profile. I see so many people's profiles and there's no banner. It's just that gray blank, like banner goes here. I want your profiles to look, as I said, pro-fabulous. So your banner should reflect you, what you say. I did ask ChatGPT last night, what would you suggest for my banner? And I showed it my banner, right? I gave it the link to my profile. And it gave me some suggestions and I didn't like them. So I told it that. I said, no, I really like my banner. And you know what it said? It said, I respect that. And I think it's working fine for you. I would suggest a couple of little suggestions, but I didn't even go with those because that's what I mean by you putting your own experience and expertise on things that you're getting from AI. So It had some good ideas, but I didn't like it, and it resonated more with me to keep what I had, and it kind of agreed with me. But to make your banner about you, using something like Canva makes it easier. Canva is amazing, very user friendly. You can just type in the search bar LinkedIn banner and a bunch of templates will come up that you can customize easily to reflect your brand, right? And you could ask ChatGPT for suggestions on what you should put on your banner. Then you have your profile link, and a lot of people don't know you can customize this or forget that you can customize it. It's great. It's a customized URL and your contact info. So when you look at your page in the top right, it'll say public profile and URL. You can change that so it's your name. So for example, let me put it here in chat. So I just put my LinkedIn profile in chat. You can see that it says linkedin.com/IN and then another / and my name. If you don't go through the steps to do that, it's going to be just like numbers and letters. And that's not only hard to share, but a little bit harder for people to find you. You can also add in your email, your website, and other relevant links in this section. But how you do that, I'm going to walk you through super fast, but you're going to get a copy of the video and the slides. So you will get these so you can check the little boxes if you want to go in and change yours so it reflects your name. So you click your photo, you hit view profile, you open those public settings, right? Just like I showed you. And you're going to enter the desired URL that you want, your name or your brand. Lowercase, no spaces, use hyphens if you need to. So as I said, mine's linkedin.com, Ronnie Ramus. Has to be between 3 and 100 characters, only letters, numbers, and hyphens. Then you click save. If the URL is already taken, you can tweak it a little bit and maybe you add in a middle initial, maybe you add a keyword until it's available. But that's exactly how you change that, customize that for you. The next thing that you're going to look at is your experience section. So this is not only just your experience, but your results. Describe your achievements, not just your responsibilities, and use metrics. So you increased lead generation by 40% in 6 months or whatever it is. But that's that proof that people are always looking for. They like to look at those numbers that you achieve. So it's not just, I do this, but I did this, and this is what happened when I did this. Then you also have your skills and endorsements and recommendations. So you can list a lot of skills. I recommend listing skills that you really do and are good at and that maybe people will give you endorsements for. Because if you list, like 30 to 50 skills and you're going to look like you have a lot of stuff that maybe you're not so good at. So I like to narrow that list a little bit and know that you can pin your top 5 skills that match your target audience's search. And again, you can ask ChatGPT for your target audience. What are they looking for? Can you use that as one of the skills that you do? And like I said, you can pin those. You can request recommendations and endorsements from other people on LinkedIn. So if you're just starting out, you can connect with people that you are connected with on LinkedIn, ask them for recommendations or endorsements. Maybe you have clients or colleagues that would be willing to do that, but you'll see how many people have endorsed those skills. So it is very helpful to get people to actually do that. Let's see, I see another question here. Is name better than keyword phrase for LinkedIn page? I would put your name if possible. LinkedIn, and if we're talking about your URL for your page, your LinkedIn page is tied to you, the person. That's how LinkedIn works. Your LinkedIn page starts with a personal page, you. You can absolutely have a business page, but you can't do that until you get your personal page. So I like the idea of having that tied to you, your name, if possible, right? So my recommendation is keep it focused on you, your page, because that is how LinkedIn is actually set up. All right. Now, think about using multimedia. Multimedia you can have throughout on any of your posts. You can also have it on your featured content. You can showcase case studies, presentations, videos. Keep that up to date because that allows you to highlight your latest successes. All right. LinkedIn also has something called impressions. People on LinkedIn don't always like or comment or share, but they are looking. So keeping track of those impressions on LinkedIn is very, very valuable. So let's talk about some key metrics that you can measure and watch on LinkedIn. You can see profile and post views. You can check out, who's checking you out and which posts draw a bigger audience, right? What about engagement rate? So likes and comments, shares, and impressions, all of that gives you analytics to see how compelling your content is. And you can track new followers over time. You can measure your audience expansion. What about demographics and industries that your followers have? That's great intel for you. And click through on links. You can gauge how often your calls to action actually drive the traffic to where you want them to go. Are they clicking on those links? So by regularly checking those numbers, it helps you spot trends on your own account, like which topics spark the more conversations or which headlines drive clicks, right? So you can double down on what is actually working. See another question here. What app or software did I use to refine your LinkedIn headshot? Let me show you that. So that was Aragon, ARAGON.ai. I'm going to put that in chat. I believe this is the website for it. Now, I don't think that they have a free version, but they have like an entry version in it, and they'll give you so many headshots. I've had great results with it. I've recommended it to clients, and they've had great results with it, but not always. I had a friend of mine try it, and one of her photos came out, and she had three hands, so that doesn't work. It's AI. There's always going to be glitches, but their entry level one, I don't remember how many you get. You probably get something like 20 or 30 headshots, and you can see set it up as corporate headshots. What I think is their default. But then, of course, I got so excited. I'm like buying all these other different packages. So I got corporate headshots. I got speaker headshots. I got cozy morning headshot. So many options you have. But again, you're paying for every level of that. But I was very happy with the content that I had. And again, then that's what I used to have as my profile picture, and I'm using a lot of AI avatars, so I'm using those. So for me, it's working really, really well. Let's see. Can you add your blog to your LinkedIn page? So you can add links to your LinkedIn profile. You could add a link to your website. You could add a link to your blog also there. And I would be focusing on making posts that would encourage people to read your blog. Maybe you're condensing some elements of the blog to make a series of posts, and always you can add a link. In LinkedIn, you can add links into your posts, and LinkedIn will automatically short them. So pro tip here, if your link is really long, don't take it into something like Bitly to shorten it. On LinkedIn, it will automatically condense it, and it will become available on LinkedIn. Okay. How do you check all those analytics we're just talking about? So to check your profile view, like I said, you're going to get a copy of the slides. You're going to click your photo in the top nav bar and go to view profile. Under your name, you're going to locate your dashboard. And then you're going to be able to see the profile views. So how many people are looking at your profile? You can see trends over the past 90 days. There's a lot of information there. And on the who viewed your profile page, you can toggle between trends, which gives you a graph, and viewers. They're listed. It lists who's looking. Now, you might not be able to see all of them, and especially if somebody has their profile listed as private, you won't be able to see it. But it's going to give you some great information, even on the free versions of LinkedIn. Now, checking the post views, you can go to any post that you have created, and you can click the views number or the analytics link, and you can see impressions. Like I said, those are total views, reactions and comments and likes. You can see those, and link clicks. This gives you great information on whether your content is doing what you want it to do. If you've got a call to action and a link, you want to know whether people are clicking on that or not. All right. Now, how to access that demographic breakdown for your page, your posts. You go to view profile, your dashboard, profile views. You can see all of them. You can switch to the demographic tab, and you'll see top locations and industries and job functions and seniority levels. This is great information for you. On your post, you go to any post, and you're going to click on the analytics below it, select demographics, and then you can see where your audience is and by industry and function and seniority and region. And then you can export that for deeper insight. You can use the date selector to spot trends over time. You can interpret and then act on that data. Again, AI can really help with this. It can identify your top 3 industries. You can make note of maybe there's unexpected segments that's coming up. You might like, wow, I didn't know my information was helpful for them. And then maybe you want to, tailor some content specifically to that demographic. And you can, I love this, compare seniority levels. Maybe the seniority level is different than what you expected. Knowing the seniority level that the majority of people who are viewing your posts can help you tailor your wording and content to them. More strategic if you're getting a lot of executive level people looking at your content. More tactical if you're getting more managers. So this is really good to know. All right. Now, as I said, you can view analytics on every post. Here's an example from a post. You can see the number of impressions, and then you click on, highlighted in blue with the red arrow, view analytics. You can see from what areas, the reactions, comments, reposts, and discovery. So those are your impressions. Someone's asking, is Sales Navigator a needed tool? You don't understand what it can provide. So it can be, depending on what you want to do with it. If you want not organic reach, right? If you want to pay for stuff, it's ads basically, Sales Navigator can help you really refine who you want to send that message to. It allows you to send out to more people, right? You can, I'm sure you've seen them a lot. You get people reaching out to you by a LinkedIn DM, right? So a lot of that is done by Sales Navigator. It depends on your messaging. It depends on the people you're sending it to. I get a lot of stuff that, why are they sending that to me? It doesn't apply to me. So, that reach, what they're selecting might not be very focused. If you are very focused and you put a lot of time and energy into it, LinkedIn also has, basically tutorials and blogs on how to use it well, but it is a paid add-on. They also have, I believe they have free trials with it, or maybe even a discounted beginning part. I would always try to see if you can test it out first to see if it is valuable, anything that you're paying for. See if it's valuable for what you want to do with it. Okay, so, but today we're talking about organic reach. So how do you use LinkedIn? How do you get that organic reach? Well, you start. You start by following and liking and commenting. People get notified if you follow them. Will they follow you back? Maybe, but engagement works. So if there's somebody in your industry who is a thought leader, right? And you aspire to be a thought leader, or maybe you already are, follow them, right? Are they going to follow you back? Not necessarily. But once you're following them and you start interacting with their posts, and when I say interacting, I don't mean just like liking their post, right? Or a comment like, great post. Be authentic in your engagement. You can, if you can add something of value to their post in a comment, absolutely do that. Other people will see your engagement. And like I said, if it is adding value, and because people read the comments, they might then go to your page. And if your page adds value to them, they might follow your page. So that is the type of authentic engagement I want you to start doing. LinkedIn, it's just like your website. You can have a beautiful website, but if you don't do anything with it, right? If you don't drive traffic to it, it's just going to sit there, kind of like your LinkedIn profile. You do need to be active on the platform to really utilize its benefits that it gives us organically. The more you engage, that's more visibility for you. So, your posts. You have to know what your target audience, right, are looking for. What do you offer to make something easier for them? You share and offer value. Tag other companies only if it's relevant to your specific post. Don't spam. So what I mean by that is don't be tagging companies hoping that, people will see your post if you tag. LinkedIn the people on LinkedIn are pretty sophisticated, and we're coming there as business owners, not to be spammed, not to be sold to on every time you open the app, but it's to connect. LinkedIn is wonderful in that way that people utilize it, yes, to get clients, but to be seen as that industry expert, to be seen as maybe finding a strategic partner, to be seen as a referral partner. LinkedIn is showcasing you, your service, your product in a way that is helpful to your target audience. All right. Is there timing to be considered when you're making these posts? Typically, again, because LinkedIn is so business oriented, between 8 and 1, and I use that in your time zone, wherever you are. So for me, 8 to 1, for you, 8 to 1. But test it. LinkedIn's great because unlike other platforms, it gives your posts a much longer lifespan. Its algorithm prioritizes relevance over recency. And what I mean by that, if somebody's searching for the content that you've got in a post, it's going to, hopefully show them your post about that. It can often resurface older posts to users who are likely to find them valuable. So a single post that you make today can continue to gain traction way long after it's published, and that is remarkably different than the other platforms. But no matter what platform you're on, storytelling really does stick. And what do I mean by that? So sharing personal stories, but I still tie them business related, right? I really don't think anybody cares what you're having for breakfast or lunch on LinkedIn. Share personal stories that highlight lessons, wins, or challenges. For example, that little video, AI video that I showed you was talking about a win. Don't be shy to share a win. Maybe there's an aha moment in your business journey. Those would be great things to make a post or video post about. People connect with people, and storytelling builds that trust and it shows your values and it makes your content memorable. When I talk about interactive content, I want to remind you to think about ways that you can not only, as I said, you start the conversation, but have it be open-ended so it's inviting conversation. So you can start conversation with your posts. So what is interactive content? That could be something like polls or questions or choose your favorite or carousel posts. That's interactive because people like that. They're getting a lot of notice these days because the fact that you have to scroll to get the next page, algorithms count that as interaction. So they love that. Posts that invite clicks or comments or shares are interactive. And why does it work? Because the algorithm loves engagement. And so do your connections. They like that. The bonus is that interactive posts often spark actual conversations. So think about maybe trying a LinkedIn poll or some carousel type of posts. Your face, and that's why I really do think that having video content is so important because your face can actually build trust and your voice can build that connection. So video to me helps build business. And when I say go tall or go home, I mean how you hold your phone. Vertical, right? As opposed to, horizontal. So hold your phone vertical. That has remarkably changed in the past few years. It used to be like you see this picture, all videos were horizontal, right? Or then it kind of went to square. Now it's vertical. Things change all the time. So try to be aware of what is industry standard right now. So right now, for most social media, vertical is great. Think about sharing just one smart thing, right? So start strong. You pair it with a caption. Most importantly, talk like a human. Again, you want to make that connection. A connection on Zoom like we're having right now, or on a video that you're making where you are talking, people connect with that. They connect with that remarkably. I'm always amazed when I know someone from Zoom and we connect through Zoom and then I meet them in person. I feel like I know them. There's no lag in the connection from when I was connecting with them on Zoom to meeting them in person. So being on camera, I think really works. So video on LinkedIn, yes, please. All right, I just want to see if I have any more questions here. Okay, be consistent. Post on a regular schedule. So what can you commit to? That's what I want you. That's a schedule I want. If you can only commit to one time a week, great. If you can commit to 5 times a week, super great. But you don't have to. What I want you to do is feel empowered to start on LinkedIn and be consistent with whatever you can commit to. I think you can do one time a week for sure. Algorithms like that consistency, and that can help you out in getting your posts seen. So know that if LinkedIn is showing you content, right, from people in the area that you're interested in, it's doing the same for other people. So if there are groups of people who are interested in your content and the algorithm sees you being consistent with it, again, there's no guarantee. We don't know exactly how the algorithm works, but much better chance that it will then show your content to the people that you really want to see it, who are interested in that content. And it's showing you content based on what your connections are engaging with. So remember to follow and connect with people in your field. As I said before, LinkedIn is based on your personal page. So you're kind of the brand here. So how do you get noticed? Well, my best tip is just to be you. Your genuine thoughts on a subject and combine a little bit of the personal with a lot of the professional. Now, I think we're in a brand new year. Let's refine our tactics for LinkedIn. So to me, what is branding us? Remember on LinkedIn, I think you're your brand is you, your personal page. It's how people experience you before you ever say a word. So branding, and especially on LinkedIn, it isn't just what we say, it's what we make people feel. So I'm going to give you a couple of practical ways to align how you show up online and in person. So those first impressions are the same. Like I said, being on camera and in person, kind of the same these days. So here's some LinkedIn tips to start now. LinkedIn pays much more attention to actual language in your post than anything added at the end. So what do I mean by that? I mean, I want your post to be speaking in a natural voice and using those keywords and key phrases. The words you use should be in full sentences. Maybe they're industry terms or role titles or natural business phrases. Help LinkedIn understand who your content is for and where it belongs. That means clarity and context matter so much more than formatting tricks like adding a bunch of keywords or hashtags at the bottom. Incorporate those keywords and key phrases into your natural speaking, written, or you on camera text. The key takeaway is rely on keywords and key phrases that your audience actually uses when they search and read and scroll. This is why it's so important that you know your audience. What are they looking for? And what are they typing in that search bar to find that? Hashtags these days to me are optional. I am rarely using them, but keywords and key phrases are no longer optional. You definitely use them. All right. What about leaving that conversation open? And what do I mean by that? Well, posts that explain everything tend to end that conversation. Posts that leave one thought unfinished invite people to step in. What is that? That's engagement. Who loves that? The algorithm. An incomplete post doesn't mean vague, it means focused. And what that looks like, it's a clear idea without the full conclusion. Example for a post header could be, the hardest part of building a personal brand isn't visibility. That's it, full stop. How a conversation could start, add a simple question at the end. What do you think it is? So you're giving the statement, the hardest part of building a personal brand isn't visibility. Then you add the question, what do you think it is? Or continue, and I love this one, continue your thought in the first comment, giving more context to your original post. So you're not withholding value, you're creating a space for it. So either you can add in the first comment or you're asking an open-ended question, looking for people to also reply in. Again, ding, ding, engagement. Incomplete posts in that framework really invite better conversation. Circling back to what I said about you taking the first comment, how I do that and seems to be working is wait about 10 minutes after you've made your post, and then you go in, and typically you'll be the first comment, and if not, that's okay. Give a little more context to what you're saying, right? If you are going to put in a link, typically I am putting it in first comment now, right? There's been talk, rumors, like I said, nobody knows exactly how the algorithms work, that putting the link in the body of what you're talking about can actually not get you as much visibility. So if that's true, why not put it in the first comment, right? The algorithm likes the engagement, and your first comment counts as engagement. So if you make your post, wait a few minutes, then you add in a comment, can actually, maybe, again, who knows? Why not try it? Get a little more visibility to your actual post. Amy's asking, will I be discussing creating a business personal profile page? We're not doing a deep dive into that today, but let me just tell you that you can absolutely do that, but you need to have your existing profile done first, and there's certain parameters on how many connections you have. So reach out to me if you like on LinkedIn. I can kind of give you some links where you can find out what you need to do with that. But yes, if you have that a business and you want to have a business profile page, absolutely. Like I said, you have to have your profile, personal profile up first, and LinkedIn likes them well filled out. So everything that we're talking about today will help on your personal profile. And really best practices would work for your business one also. So as I was saying, links don't kill the reach. Like I said, that's kind of the, you're hearing some rumors, right? But the timing can. So that's why links in the main post could theoretically, slow down that distribution. So if you need a link, place it in the first comment and add it. Like I said, I usually wait till either after the engagement starts or about 10 minutes. All right. Posting is only half of the strategy. The real reach comes from responding to comments. So anybody who comments on your post, absolutely respond to. Again, that's that engagement. And engaging with other people's posts and being visible after you hit publish. That means don't just post and ghost. Stay active on that post for a while, or get notified when people are making comments on your posts, so that algorithm really can sense that you are being active on the platform. LinkedIn responds presence, your time on the platform, not just posting. Let's see, I see another question here. Can the slides be shared in larger image? You will be getting a copy of the slides and a copy of the recording, yes. All right, my suggestion to you, let's make a LinkedIn post today. You don't need a recap of anything or a perfect photo. Just share one insight that you can give as valuable content. That's that one takeaway that you can share that reflects how you think or how you work. Small, consistent posts help keep you visible and keep conversations going. All right. I get a lot of questions on, well, how do I get business from LinkedIn? And we had a question about Sales Navigator. And I think that old playbook for sales call is broken, even on LinkedIn. So cold calls, that's just endless dialing, or you're interrupting busy prospects, and you just face rejection after rejection. And the average rep, looks at like 52 calls to, close one deal. And those mass DM messages, a lot of them, I get a lot of it, and I just ignore them. And a lot of times I will block the sender. So I would be very judicious if you are sending out bulk mailings. It's that spray and pray tactic a lot of times lands in spam folders. So it also makes you spend so much time chasing possible leads that were never really qualified to begin with. So what do you do? How do you be more focused in your reach, your marketing to other businesses, your marketing to consumers? How do we shift that playbook? I think that not only we all deserve better, but your prospects deserve better too, and more sophisticated engagement. And that really comes from shifting from pushing to pulling. And what do I mean? That pushing is all those, DMs, cold calls going out to spray and pray, to pulling people to your content because your content is so good. You really want systems that can scale without proportional effort, right? You want to make it easier. That's where using, some of the AI tools really is helpful in streamlining how you're doing your reach out. You want fewer, better qualified prospects and shorter sales cycles and credibility. And this is the important one, positioning you as the obvious choice. And you can do that with your content. AI doesn't just help you target better, though it can. It can fundamentally help you to change how you attract and engage your prospects. So instead of chasing, you're creating systems, content that make the right prospects want to engage with you. So the old way is pushing, you're interrupting your prospects with your message when it's convenient for you, right? The new way is pulling. You're creating that magnetic content. You're pulling people to your content because it is so valuable to them, and experiences that draw your prospects that you want to you when they're ready on their timeline. All right. So here's some creative ways I think that AI can help generate that type of content that can pull people to whatever your business is. Generating thought leadership blogs. Someone was talking about their blog. Absolutely. If you sit there and you write your blog because you know this stuff, excellent. I like to utilize AI to make that process faster. Do I know my stuff? Can I write my blog? Yes. Does it take me 10 times longer for me to write it myself? Yes. So I work with an AI tool, ChatGPT, when I am writing content so much faster. You could personalize your avatar videos like we talked about, and help come up with ideas that create LinkedIn posts that spark conversations. Think about creating micro webinars or roundtables that AI can help you build the script for that, right? AI can help you with follow-up sequences for that. You can use, as we talked about, polls or quizzes in LinkedIn, and AI can help you come up with ones that are targeted to your audience. There are so many ways that you can utilize AI to help you, because I want your experience and expertise to be very top of mind. But utilizing some of these new tools, and especially utilizing AI to help make your profile as best you can. So I like the idea of utilizing LinkedIn because I think as a business to business tool, it is amazing. It helps you to stop knocking on those doors and create the kind of content that will make your prospects find you and knock on your door. So I do think that shift from pushing to pulling is where businesses can really, really scale their lead generation. All right. Couple of quick things I want to leave you with. Add new connections. Look for people that you want to connect with. If you are sending out connection requests, don't forget this. It will always give you that option. Do you want to include a note with your connection requests? Yes. You probably get connection requests all the time from people you have no idea who they are. And a lot of times it's just sales stuff. But if you put in a note, maybe you read a book by an author and it was really insightful and you thought it was great and you want to connect with that author, you can put in a connection request to anyone on LinkedIn, and you can put in the note, oh, I read your book. It was really eye-opening to me. I was actually utilized some of your tips or whatever. Much greater chance that someone will accept your request if you let them know why, that it's not just like, I got to connect with more people, right? Don't forget to connect and re-engage with old connections, right? You can reach out to them. You can find the old connections on your network tab, but don't feel like, oh yeah, I'm already connected with them. Make your connections feel like they're important to you. And absolutely connect and engage with any new connections. Make it a real connection. You can DM them. You can start a conversation, say thank you for reaching out. Happy to connect here on LinkedIn. All righty. All right, we are getting to the end here. We have just a couple of minutes, but make LinkedIn work for you. Optimize your profile, treat it like a landing page, not just a resume. Post valuable content, use carousel posts, videos, insights that you are being helpful in sharing. Engage, don't just post. Comment, message, interact with people on LinkedIn. And you can use LinkedIn search and filters to find decision makers in your industry. Leverage LinkedIn ads if you want to be running ads, and their targeting is actually pretty amazing. Okay. All right. As I said, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I am Ronnie Ramos. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know for myself and for my clients, I'm highly recommending LinkedIn, and definitely check out optimizing your profile, your photo, your headline, your about section. Make your LinkedIn profile as robust as you can, because LinkedIn likes that. So we want to keep the LinkedIn algorithm very happy. So thanks again for joining me. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Oh, thank you to everybody who's saying that they enjoyed the webinar. And there's so many fabulous SCORE webinars. I highly encourage you to jump in on a regular basis. There's so many topics that for business owners, it's an amazing resource. I got to give you my best tip: get a SCORE mentor. Like I said, it was a game changer for me personally. But wow, to have somebody you can connect with by email, by Zoom, in person, that's really been where you are, no matter what place you are in your business journey, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your week.